These accommodations are said to be inhabited by ghosts, making them the most haunted hotels in the world. Examples include an abandoned hotel from the 20th century that is perched precariously on the edge of a cliff in Colombia, and a boutique property in Los Angeles that is filled with all kinds of bustling nightlife. Both of these hotels have one thing in common: they are located in Los Angeles. Take, for instance, the Langham Hotel in the city of London. Since it first opened its doors in 1865, the Grand Dame has amassed an incredible collection of ghosts, including butlers and footmen who just can't stop serving, Napoleon III, who stayed here during his exile, and an unhappy gentleman with a horrifying wound on his face. Even while the majority of the ghosts in this hotel are the pleasant Casper type, there are a few of them that appear to get their eternal thrills from frightening the living visitors to death. Others, such as Freelan Oscar Stanley and Flora Stanley, the founders of the Stanley Hotel, want nothing more than to guarantee that their much-loved hotels are kept in pristine condition. Their chambermaid remained as well to assist guests in unpacking their possessions after they arrived. Consider booking a room at one of these 10 most haunted hotels in the world if you're looking for a good spook or scare. They're located all over the world. But before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel now. Let's get into it. Number 10. The Bell, Norfolk, England. This humble inn, which can be found in the central square of a small town, is anything but a sleepy place to stay. There is a good chance that you will see Betty Radcliffe, the woman who used to run the inn when it was a boarding house, or a hooded monk. It should come as no surprise that the pub, which has been in operation for over 6 centuries, exudes an enigmatic vitality. Number 9. The Stanley Hotel, Estes Park, Colorado. This iconic hotel was built in the 20th century and is located in the shadows cast by the Rocky Mountains. It is well known for being the inspiration for Stephen King's novel The Shining. A mark of the paranormal was left at the hotel in 1911 after an explosion in room 217 injured the hotel's main maid. Even though she made a full recovery, it is thought that once she passed away, her soul went back to the spot where she had worked as a caretaker, along with the spirits of Flora and F.O. Stanley, who were the owners of the Stanley Hotel. It is possible that you will overhear Flora playing the old Steinway piano, take a picture of F.O. supervising a game of pool, or discover that your items have been miraculously unpacked. Number 8. Hotel Chelsea, New York City, New York. The historic Hotel Chelsea is said to be haunted by the souls of well-known singers and artists who once resided there in life or after passing away. Dylan Thomas passed away while residing at the hotel, and decades later, Nancy Spungen, who was the girlfriend of Sid Vicious of the Sex Pistols, was found stabbed to death in room 100 of the hotel. It is possible that Vicious was the one who committed the murder. It is thought that all of those ghosts who suffered horrible deaths can still be found in the infamous hotel. Number 7. The Langham Hotel, London, England. Many people believe that the Langham, which opened in 1865, is the most haunted hotel in London, and that room 333 is the location where much of the paranormal activity is reported to have occurred. Only the most courageous, living souls dare to check into this establishment, and those who have done so have witnessed everything from a Victorian-era doctor who allegedly killed his wife and himself while they were on their honeymoon to a German prince who jumped from the 4th floor and still wears his military-style jacket in death. These guests have seen it all. In addition, the ghosts of Emperor Napoleon III, a shoeless butler, and a footman dressed in a powdered wig have all been spotted. Number 6. Russell Hotel, Sydney, Australia. The Russell Hotel in Sydney may be found in a neighborhood of the city called simply the Rocks. It is reported that the building is haunted by the spirit of a sailor from the time of the colonial rule who was never able to return to sea. According to the visitors of the Russell Hotel who claim to have seen him, he can still be found prowling around the property, paying special attention to the female guests, and he seems to have a particular fondness for room 8 in particular. Number 5. Dragsholm Castle, Horve, Denmark. Bern, Earl of Bothwell, who were the rulers of what was then Denmark, Norway at the time. Because of his prolonged confinement, he went insane, and in the end, he was hung from a pillar and allowed to die. He has never been able to get away from the Danish estate, and that hasn't changed. Guests will occasionally witness him galloping through the grounds on horseback in the middle of the night. In the 1930s, a skeleton dress was discovered inside the walls of the castle. It is supposed that the White Lady, who is said to prowl the hallways after dark, keeps him company. Number 4. Nottingham Road Hotel, KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. At the turn of the century, Charlotte was a prostitute who visited the Nottingham Road Hotel. It is said that she had strong feelings for a soldier who was stationed in the area at the time. When she found out that her love had been lost, either because it was never returned or because it was lost in combat, she threw herself off the balcony of room 10. Now that she is in the hereafter, she occupies her time by rearranging flowers, repositioning mirrors to get the finest possible angle, and folding the garments of guests. Number 3. Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel, Los Angeles, California. Marilyn Monroe stayed at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel quite frequently, and she was particularly fond of the poolside suite 1200 since it featured a full-length mirror. Guests now look into the mirror in the hopes of catching a sight of the celebrity, the reflection of whom has been known to materialize on numerous occasions. A lot of actresses and artists who used to visit the hotel during their lives have decided to make it their permanent residence, just like Marilyn Monroe did. These spectral stars include people like Carole Lombard, Errol Flynn, and Montgomery Clift, among others. Number 2. Hotel del Salto, San Antonio del Tequendama, Colombia. Even though it is no longer a hotel but rather a museum of biodiversity and culture, the Hotel del Salto is most well known for its position as a luxury resort for Colombia's upper-class citizens. The hotel's location on the edge of a cliff provided guests with an unobstructed view of the Tequendama Falls, which had a height of more than 400 feet. When the hotel was closed down in the 1990s, it developed a reputation for being haunted. This was in part caused by the foul odor caused by the Bogota River as it rushed through the gorge below, the perilous and winding roads that led to the property, and the hotel's history of being the location of suicides on the premises. Countless individuals have thrown themselves into the ravine. Number 1. Taj Mahal Palace Hotel, Mumbai, India. The luxurious Taj Mahal Palace Hotel in India was designed in part by W. Chambers, who was also one of the architects that worked on the project. He then left for a trip to England, and when he returned, he discovered that the plans hadn't been carried out as intended. He had already drew out complex designs. According to urban legend, Chambers committed suicide by jumping off the 5th floor of the building, possibly because he was upset over the alterations. Even now, he can be seen walking around the hotel and ensuring that everything is customized to his preferences to the greatest extent.